Russian ships carrying stolen Ukrainian grain turned away from Mediterranean ports. But not all of them.
Here's a summary of the article.
The Matros Pozanich is one of 3 ships involved in the trade of stolen grain, according to open-source research and Ukrainian officials. The Ukrainian regions to its north, occupied by Russian forces since early March, produce millions of tons of grain every year. In its first comments on the illicit export of Ukrainian grain, the Defense Ministry's Intelligence Directorate said Tuesday that a significant part of the grain stolen from Ukraine is on vessels sailing under the Russian flag in the waters of the Mediterranean. More grain thefts. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry estimates that at least 400,000 tons of grain has been stolen and taken out of Ukraine since Russia's invasion. In Zaporizhia, trucks bearing the white Z symbol of the Russian military were spotted transporting grain to Crimea after the city's main grain elevator was completely emptied. A column of Russian trucks carrying grain had left the town of Enerhodar, also in Zaporizhia, under the guard of the Russian military, the directorate claimed. While Russian ships are apparently able to carry Ukrainian grain on the high seas, Ukrainian farmers are finding it much more difficult to export their produce.
This post received a score of 6,300, with an upvote ratio of 97%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Surprise, surprise. It docked in Syria and turned of the transponder again. This is straight up smuggling.
It's almost as if Russia is a terrorist state.
Which they are.
What a redundant comment. That's literally what the guy above you was saying.
Not really. One suggested it, sarcastically. The other confirmed it to remove doubt for people who don't pick up on sarcasm. From my experience here on Reddit, I can say that's not redundant.
Take them all in. Just don't let them leave. Unload them but don't go paying because need to investigate origin of product, insert them in a bureaucratic labyrinth hell of wait time, and meanwhile use the grain to feed the population in need.
Greater than insert them in a bureaucratic labyrinth hell. The Germans are amazing at this. Sure, we'll take your goods. Have you signed the at 0622 attestation of ownership form?
Oof, looks like you filled out at 0621. Yeah, so instead I'm going to have to redirect you to Form AT0464A and B, then you're going to have to queue in our dock for reinspection, and then we can forward you the at 0622 form in 4 to 6 weeks. Next.
Don't forget to call this number where someone will give you further information. Meanwhile, the hours of operation are 1 to 3 p.m. on Wednesday and dude is on leave for 6 weeks.
And the hotline is permanently under pressure with a queue of 300+ people waiting.
These Russian thieves need to be held accountable.
If someone saw a soldier entering a civilian house and stealing their stuff, they would think, what a scumbag. Putin thinks we should do that at a larger scale. Bringing trucks and cargo ships would make the whole thing easier.
Shipping data shows that the Matros Pozanich is one of 3 bulk carriers registered to a company called Crane Marine Contractor, based in Astrakhan, Russia. The company is not under international sanctions. Why?
Sanctioning individual firms is a game of whack-a-mole. It probably makes more sense to sanction entire industries and then whitelist those companies that have taken verifiable steps to distance themselves from the war and the Kremlin.
North Korea and China are a good example of this. You'd sanction X company, and then they'd mysteriously become insolvent, with all of their assets, staff and other procedures being transferred to another company. That company would eventually get found out for dodging sanctions, get shut down, and the cycle would repeat.
Don't need to go that far. It's common practice in the building trade to do that, though it's to escape creditors rather than sanctions.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.